Shalom everyone, I thought I would do a special edition with in regards to the UK Labour Party. We know for many years, many Jewish people didn't necessarily see the UK Labour Party as a safe place. Obviously there was Jeremy Corbyn in charge from 2015 till after the election till pretty much till the start of 2020. There was massive fears that many people there would be a mass exodus out of the UK if he came into power. And as I heard the rabbi say, that the 12th of December 2019 was a miraculous day. It was a day where to praise Hashem because he didn't come into power and had a thumping loss. But there is a notion out there that they're improving and everything else. And yes, the current leader is making a lot of good steps within regards to anti-Semitism to curb it out. However, by no notion we should be under illusion they are even good for Am Yisrael over here. Many dozens of councillors only in the last week actually resigned, if I'm not mistaken, from their councillorship role in the Labour Party because of their stance of support for Israel. Naturally, they should be supporting Israel with atrocity that had taken place, the massacre 2.5 weeks ago. So unequivocally, they should support Israel. And they have come out and said that we support Israel. However, is this support like a red carpet support or not? Very much not so. And there was a Sky News interview on, I believe, Sunday morning, the 22nd of October, this current year, 2023, where the interviewer was interviewing a woman inside the Labour Party with a prominent position over there, someone of the name Lisa Nandy, the Shadow Secretary of State for International Development of the United Kingdom. So as he's interviewing, obviously she's going to say that the party stance is to be with Israel. She acknowledges the atrocities what Hamas has done and also acknowledges the rocket attacks. But during the middle of the interview, she doesn't. She starts blaming the Israeli settlement building as one of the major problems within regards to this conflict, and says that the government should be doing much more to tackle it, and she herself and her party won't tolerate this anymore. This is one of the important things she says. Other thing she says is that she's saying that how the Palestinians have been let down, how much they're going to pressure the current government to make sure that the Palestinians are going to be taken care of. And as of yesterday, the 23rd of October, was reported over the Prime Minister would give an extra £20 million to the Palestinians, a staggering amount of money, I believe, on top of the £10 million he had already pledged a week before. But I might be, please double check that. That's a lot of money. But she actually herself uses a lot of the time inside the interviewing saying how much they are suffering. She doesn't acknowledge whatsoever, you know, that the people in the south and north of Israel have to relocate because of the dangers and everything else. She hardly mentions anything about the nearly 10,000 rockets that has been rained down upon Israel, and doesn't mention that we are really defending ourselves, and these are steps that will have to be. It's like a in a way the interview was like as in like a like some sort of like a kick at the same time against Israel, where she is supporting Israel, but she's not. And that's this stance they are doing. You know, it's a support for Israel. Naturally, they should support Israel. Many of the politicians say that Israel is a first among these terror organizations, and then they go to the other countries, to other parts of the Western world. And it's actually interesting. It reminds us of when in the Parshat Miketz, it's a chapter in a Sefer Bereshit, in chapter 41, we see in Pasuk 12. I'll give you a backdrop of it. There's a story of the butler and the baker and Yosef HaTzadik. They're all inside a dungeon together, and Yosef interprets their dreams correctly. He interprets the butler's dreams and relates over to the butler that he is going to be released from this dungeon in a specific short period of time, and it comes true. And Yosef HaTzadik actually would tell the butler, would actually say to him, you know, please remember me when you speak to Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, at that point in time. So it happened to be the butler had forgotten all about Joseph, and 2 years running forgot, I didn't mention anything to Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. And then Pharaoh was agitated. He had a very mysterious dream one night and wanted dream interpreters. He came to everyone asking for the dream interpretation. I wasn't satisfied. Eventually, the butler would remember Yosef and tell Pharaoh, yes, I remember there is this guy, Yosef. He interprets the dreams. You need to get him. And the pasuk actually says over here in Sefer Bereshit in chapter 41, verse 12. He states the words, "V'sham itanu na'ar ivri, eved lesara tabachim, v'nesaper lo v'yiftor lanu et chalomotenu ish kachalamo patar." So what's that referring to over here? It's actually interesting. Rashi actually turns out that Lashon he used over here, he calls him, I'll say the English terminology, a youth, a Hebrew. The butler is saying that to Pharaoh. He's calling him, with regards to Yosef, with regards to Joseph, as a youth, a Hebrew, a slave, let's just say, a servant. Now, even when he's doing a favor over here, the butler, for Yosef over here, a Hebrew over here, it's incomplete. He's got to degrade him at the same time. It's as if he doesn't want to do it, but he's saying it over there. It's a disparaging term, the term na'ar. It's called a youth. It's not a fitting term for someone of Yosef who has actually saved his life, interpreted the butler's dream in the correct way. He's actually saying it in a loosely degrading term over here. And that's what Rashi actually points out here inside this pasuk over here. And we're seeing over here there's a lot of support coming out for Israel from a lot of the government officials. But in a lot of these cases, it's not a full-on support with a welcome arms, or even with a thing. It's because they have to do it, unfortunately. And one thing we've got to rely on, we are here, we're Am Yisrael. We're surrounded by so many nations around us. You know, it's convenient for a lot of nations, but the key is in our hand, everything we do. We've got to have the emunah, the bitachon in Hashem, that Hashem is here. It's a journey for Hashem. Hashem wants us to come closer to Him. We can't necessarily rely on all the politicians all across the world. Our faith cannot be within regards to this person, that person. It's in ourselves, in Hashem. It's got to be the tefillah that we've got to do, the kol shel Yaakov. The voice of Yaakov has to be heard at this point in time. We've got to be doing good acts of kindness. We've got to be obviously advocating for Israel, but working within ourselves. Achdut has to increase within regards to everything that we're doing. And we cannot necessarily trust on all these politicians, because these are people Hashem has orchestrated to be around us. And we very much know, unfortunately, all throughout Jewish history, that the politicians haven't necessarily been there the whole time for us. So the key is in our hands. We've got everything. Baruch Hashem, there's a lot of people backing us. But is the backing, done with the whole heart or not? The jury is definitely out. But one thing for sure is that we've got the backing of Hashem with the bitachon and with the emunah in Hashem and the achdut and the togetherness that we're seeing in Am Yisrael, the unprecedented unity at the moment.